Well, hello. Hold on. Does that look better? All right. Hello. Welcome back. I was like super sick last week. Couldn't make a video. There was no way. But I'm back. I am back. And today we are talking about what is in my dock for 2019. What do I use on a day-to-day basis? What do I use? That's the question. You've seen the screen records. You're like, oh, why does he crop off the bottom of the screen? You can't see what he uses. Valid question, my friend. Valid question. So starting it off on the basics, you know, everybody uses it. It's Finder. I mean, if you don't have this in your dock, well, you're not using a Mac, you're using a Windows probably, so I'm sorry. That's what I use every day. Honestly, I use that every day. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. The next thing on the dock is Safari. I do actually use it every now and then. That's my main browser. Some would prefer others. Simple, I don't care. Safari, I use it. It's good. I'm happy with it. Next, system preferences. Gotta have that on hand. I mean, you're always going in and changing stuff. I am all the time. And I'll just call it settings because system preferences, I mean, who says that? No, nobody says that. Next up is notes because, come on, you gotta have notes in there. I mean, if you didn't have your notes, you'd be stuck using, what's that other thing called? If you didn't use notes, you'd just be using the text editor and blah, 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 blah. There's no way, I'm not using that thing. It's annoying. Next up is the Olive Tree Bible because you gotta copy and paste scriptures from somewhere, put them into videos or whatever, like this. How's he gonna do it? I'm not typing it in with a paperback. No, thank you. I'd go digital. Next up is probably something you didn't know about or didn't care or don't care or don't want to know, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. It's a screen capture device. Basically, it's called a Grab. It's in the Launchpad thing. You can go find it. It's called Grab. Put it in there. Keep it in dock. You click on it. You go up to the top and click Capture or Shift Command A. Select what you want to screen record. You screen record it. You save it as JPEG, whatever. You're done. Use that all the time, every day almost. Super handy, super easy. It's handy. It's easy. Next up on the list is iTunes. How else are you gonna copy off CDs? How else are you gonna burn CDs? I use iTunes for all that. Naming songs, putting artwork to music. That's what I use iTunes for. Next up is GarageBand. Don't really use that anymore, so that could probably leave, but it's still in there. Next up is something called Soundbite. Now, this is really handy when you want to play a bunch of different sounds all simultaneously. Oh, I love that thing. We do some theater stuff, and that is super handy for that. Next up is Logic. Now, this is just a bump up from GarageBand, basically. I will use it to record the X32, all 32 channels at the same time when I want to. Don't do that too often, but it is there when I need it. Next up is FileCut Pro, and yeah, it's gotta be here. I use this every day. It's probably, yeah, I'm editing this video in it right now. This is the one I'm using to edit, and sometimes I don't. So if you want to see a video on why I choose different video editors when I do, let me know. Next up is Premiere Pro. Yeah, so I have Premiere and I have Final Cut, both right next to each other. They're just battling it out right there. It's gonna end it. But I use Premiere and I use Final Cut. It just depends on what I'm doing if I'm gonna use it. Next up is After Effects. Now, a lot of this video has been done in After Effects. So you'll notice all the little intro titles and everything for each app has been made in After Effects. So that's, I mean, you can't have After Effects not in the dock. That's just, come on. Next up is Photoshop, because when you use After Effects in anything video related, or making thumbnails, or just taking out dumb things out of a photo, you gotta have Photoshop right there. That's just the key to starting the engine. Next up is Audition. don't know why that's in there. I don't even really use it. I use it every now and then to just extend a song if I can't figure out the beat to it. Other than that, it's unused. Next up is Adobe Illustrator. This is very handy. Basically, I only use it for one reason though. I go in and I make a vector mask, I think is what it calls it, and then I copy it and I bring it over to After Effects and I can make a 3D element out of that mask. So it's basically all I use it for, and I love it for that. So that's why it's there. Next up is Lightroom and Lightroom. They're both pretty much the same thing. One's a easier version, the other one's a little more complicated. The easier one I never use, so I could probably just get rid of that. And the more complicated version, I did this photo in, but it took a really, really long time because the computer just couldn't handle the processing at all. Yeah, basically I just do like a brush stroke and it would poof. Fans are up and system check, nothing happened. Alright, next up is Blender version 2.7. I got this and I've been working in it. Then I got Blender 2.8. It's a beta version. I have both of them right there just in case one crashes. I can use the other one, and it hasn't crashed yet, so that's pretty cool. Next up is Flick. Now, Flick is basically, at its finest, AirDrop for every platform. So I can flick something from the MacBook to my iPhone, from my iPhone to an Android phone, from an Android phone to a Windows computer. It doesn't have to be in that order. You can go any way you want, but it is really, really handy. You can flick basically anything that you can paste in there, and love that. I had that back before AirDrop worked between the iPhone and the Mac. If you remember that was a hard time. That was tough times, but now they've fixed that, and ooh, life is a breeze now. But that's what I used before that, and I just still have it in there. Next up is Photos. Now, I really don't know why this is in here. It's not used too often. Next up is Arduino. Oh, you know what? That would be this guy. It's a Arduino, and it's controlled with that. Write a little code, upload it, goes on here. That video where I had a camera spinning underneath the tree that used to be right over there. As I took it down, this told it what to do. Little tidbits you didn't know about. Ooh, figuring it out. Next up is Activity Monitor. Now, I like to have this in here. Basically, if an app is running that is kind of in the background or whatever, I can go in, find it, find out what's taking up all my usage, what's slowing down my computer. I can go in and boom, get that thing out of there. Force quit, shut down, you're out, game over. That's what I use that for. And if it's open, sometimes it'll show me my CPU usage, but it's never open. Next up is kind of sad, but install macOS Mojave. I really want to install this, but every time I install something, everything changes. Apps don't work. Things have to be updated. I still need to deal with that. Next up, very, very important, audio MIDI setup. This is hands down the best thing on here in terms of audio features. Basically, you go in here and you can configure anything plugged in audio-wise. If it's this, that's an audio USB device. I've got an audio USB device plugged in here. This is another audio USB device. Anything plugged in through USB or optic out, it shows it up, and you can go in and configure settings. You can, if it's a different device, you can configure it to what it's supposed to do. Super handy. I'm always opening that thing up to go in and edit settings and edit features and edit audio levels. Love that. Super handy. Couldn't live without it. And the kind of last thing is Archive Utility. What a name. Basically, it's the unzip unit. I've been working with a lot of zip files lately, and instead of having to open up the zip file and it opens up in the exact same location as the zip file is, I can go in and change it. Instead of just exporting to wherever the other document is, it exports into the specific folder I save. The next thing is the downloads. Yeah, everybody leaves their downloads right there. Imagine, where else would you want them? And the very last thing is the trash. Should empty that. If you don't have the trash can, I'm sorry. You've got something definitely wrong with your computer. that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks you so much for watching. This was kind of fun to do, and now you know what I use, and it will probably change soon. I'm always dropping in new apps, getting rid of old ones. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm DJ Koren, and I will see you in the next video. Ooh, we're back. I was sick last week. I'm feeling a lot better now. Okay. That was just my test run. I want to see how well the recording is going to look. How well it's going to sound. It's going to sound amazing. It's going to sound amazing. All right. That's it. That's all I said. That's all I want to say.